Alrighty guys, so this is going to be a review of the flight test for the JY018. I have 3 batteries fully charged. I brought an extra battery pack. So we're going to test this out and actually see how long flight time really is. I'm going to try to keep it aloft pretty much in this general area for the first test. And then after that, I'll move into the range test. It should supposedly reach right about to the tree line. At least that's what they say. So let's find out what this thing can do. Let's go ahead and stick one in here. Okay. Alright, so let's bust out my phone. Alright, let me get this set up so you don't have to watch the whole thing, and I'll be right back. Alright, so we are all set up. You can see that. We are connected here. So let's go and I'll check the time on the phone and set this off for when it drops. I'll check the time again. We'll see how long it was. You know what? Let's get a better launch area. Okay. So first I want to calibrate it for level. So we're going to come over here into settings. Sorry about that. Over into settings, into headless mode, and this second one down here is Gyro Calibrate. So now we're going to put altitude hold, gyro mode on the phone, and everything is on, ready to go. So let's get this thing up in the air. Let me move the camera up a little bit, and let's see how long I can get this thing to hover. Alright, so it's 12:44. Going back here. Now that's actually extremely steady. There's a little bit of wind, and being that it's so light, it has a tendency to kind of flop around in the wind. It's very hard to compensate. Some of the heavier ones would take more effort. So there's a strong wind to the right here that keeps blowing me off course. But other than that, it does seem to at times want to drop a little bit. If you notice, it'll kind of like that. It'll just kind of drop a little bit on its own, but then it kind of levels off. I'm not doing up and down. I'm not changing the altitude. I'm just letting this go as it is. So I'm not doing any other functions. I'm not recording video. I'm not doing any flips. I'm only doing enough to try to keep it right here in the middle. Now this is easier than when I was in my backyard because, going back down. I have a whole bunch of power lines behind my house. And a whole bunch of people around me all have Wi-Fi, and the channels are getting mixed up. So if I get more than about 30 or 40 feet away, it tends to get a little, I don't know, jittery. It kind of does its own thing. Ooh, there goes the stiff wind. And I'm trying to fly into the wind, which is about, well, almost straight left. And it's having a hard time doing that. But I'm trying. So I'll come out here in front of the camera here for a little bit and let you see what's going on. Bring it back down so we can stay in camera. It keeps wanting to go back up on its own, which is a little frustrating. Yeah, see, I'm not doing any up. I'm only changing the direction it goes with the tilt of the phone, which seems to be a little bit off. This level for my phone is not level. Oh, seems to be a power surge there, see that? So it's not exactly the most consistent type of flight, but I mean, it works. There's no doubt it works. You just have to be skilled with it. And it's a little harder here at the park because of the wind. Ooh, now it's really throwing me off. Alright, so calibration seems to be way off now. Alright, let me see if I can bring this back here. Alright, so that was a fail because after a while, I was about like, I had my phone about like this, and that was essentially level. So calibration doesn't stay where you put it very well. It tends to just migrate off on some random direction all on its own. I don't know if that's because of the app or if that's the drone itself. It's kind of hard to tell. So in this particular case, the flight time was kind of a bust, as calibration kind of jacked it up. I'm not the best with the manual controls, but let me go over here, get it back, and see if I can recalibrate it and keep it going. Alright, so the next one's going to be a flight test. This one's going to be, well, distance, and I'm just going to send it out in the open field and see how far it goes. I put in a new battery, I've recalibrated, everything should be good to go. We've got headless mode on, and let's see how this works. You may not be able to see it on the video, but about 30 or 40 feet out now. The wind is certainly taking its toll on it. Alright, about 50 feet out, and the wind is getting pretty heavy. Go ahead and bring it back. Alright. Head on out toward the tree over here on the right, which is toward the swing set. And with such a wind, it doesn't really seem to want to change direction very well. I don't know if you can see that, but let's head to the left. About center, that's into the wind. Now if I go with the wind, it's very, very fast. We're going to turn that around and have it come back toward us. That is one stiff wind. It's really struggling to keep up here. All right, let's keep it going out. Turn it around. Bring it down just a little bit here. Keep it in frame. Alright, it's a little hard to control when you're looking at the camera if you're not used to the directions. You know what? In all honesty, and I know I've said this a million times before, but for a cheap drone, it's actually pretty nice. And especially seeing as in my last video, if you watched it, there's a surprise, and I'll let you watch the video and figure it out. See if I can get some comments if you've discovered what it is. Let me know that you've watched the video. But, you know, I think we're at a good 5 or 6 minutes now on flight time for this one. And I am all the way to the left here, and I can't seem... There we go. The wind, look at this. That's how far my phone is, and it's almost hovering in place. If I go level, it goes way off. So the calibration's off. I don't know if I can reset it mid-flight. Let's try that. Not really. It sort of has an effect, but trim is not, this is not the amount of work that trim is going to be able to solve. Okay, so it's got a lot more issues trying to stay in line. So I'm actually going to take off. Let me get it out here a little bit. No gyro. And we're simply going to use manual controls. The only difference is altitude hold is still on. So this way I can fight the wind and not worry about the phone miscalibrating. As you can tell, I'm not the greatest with the controls here. Alright, I think we reached the end of our battery life. That was probably a good 7 or 8 minutes. So it's just about as advertised. Actually, you know what? My timer on the record says 5 minutes 30 seconds. So, not bad, but I think I just lost control. Okay, so apparently I forgot to bring a rubber band. What I have is... I just kind of set the battery on top of the drone, and we're going to see if it'll even lift off. Do you even lift, bro? So, we'll see if it can handle the weight. Hopefully it doesn't fall in the wrong direction and snap a prop or something, but I guess we'll find out here in just a second. This will let us know if it's able to handle extra weight. This is what I wanted to know about modding the battery. So we turn on props. Okay. See what happens. It probably won't work. It might take off, but it'll probably fall right back to the ground. So I have emergency stop ready. Ha! Wouldn't you know it? I stopped that on purpose. It turns out that it will lift up just fine with an extra battery on it. So I'm going to run that again. Sorry about that. I'm going to run that again. I'm going to tilt the camera up, and I will see if this will stay on a little bit better and you can see it on video. That's where I definitely need the rubber band. So let's bring this up. I think it ended up right about here. If I tilt or turn, then the battery falls off, so that's kind of a downside. But let's see what we can get with this. So altitude hold, I'll do gyro on this one, headless mode, and ready to go. Now let's see if you can see it. Well, it did manage to hold it. You probably didn't get a chance to see that on video. I'm gonna see if I can do something here. So you notice that it does. Okay. So you'll notice it does work. It will hold the extra, and I think it ends up trying to compensate. I don't know if that's because it wants to do, if it's using an internal barometer to figure out its height, or if it's designed with its own weight, with its original own weight in mind, and it adjusts the power of the props accordingly. But it seems to be able to compensate to help keep it up, so it must know something, and I'm going to assume that it's probably an internal barometer. I haven't checked the parts on the board when I did the teardown, but I'll definitely be tearing into this again. So not only does it have a surprise in it, again, watch the other video, but it looks like you can actually put in a bigger battery with a different weight and it will still work. It seems that it takes a little more effort, and it may not completely offset the addition of the weight of the second battery, so you may end up using more power to support the extra weight and be right back down to about your 7 or 8 minute flight time. So it may not be worth it, but I'm going to order a few more batteries because I do want 3 original batteries for this while I'm using it. And I'll order another couple of these, and I will mod those, and we will see just how well this thing holds up. But again, like, share, subscribe if you want to see me check something out or try something with the drone. If you want me to mod one once I get some stuff going, let me know in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next video.